Book. It's Tuesday. It's 9 a.m. Eastern. It's 2 p.m. where we are in the UK. Hello, Fonz.
Hi.
Hi. This is I Live Here with Fonz and Steven. And the first thing we want to do is to say welcome to the show and welcome to the replay as well. If you're catching this on replay, you'll find that we had snow last weekend. And,
snow. This magical white stuff.
It's all gone now.
That's very cold. Yeah, it's gone now.
It's gone now.
Yeah. We didn't get a lot. Although I saw your photo, you put up on Facebook, your garden table looked like it was really thick as snow. It was.
We got about 6 inches of snow. And that's where the photograph came from. I just happened to be having breakfast and I spotted it out the window. I thought,
you don't get much snow in your area, do you?
No, we don't. We've got a golden triangle, Stonehenge, Salisbury, and Avebury, and there's no snow.
That's aliens doing that. That's aliens.
You think so? Oh. There was. I write conspiracy story for you. There's a farm just outside Marlborough.
Yeah.
And we're well known in this area for crop circles, yeah?
Yeah.
But he had...
I'll tell you a story about crop sales in a minute, but carry on.
Okay, he had snow circles.
Really?
And what happened is that the wind had caught some snow, and it, like a boulder, it just kept growing. And it was pushed along by the wind, and it made a track in the snow. It's quite amazing. I'll get you the photograph to us because it's up there with crop circles.
I'd love to see that.
Right, over to crop circles then.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see that. No, do you remember from the 60s the group the Trogs?
I do. I do remember the Trogs and Reg.
Well, Reg Presley wrote "Love Is All Around," and he wrote that. I think I've said this before from watching the Joy String Band on TV. That's what the song's actually about. But in his late years, when wet, too many wets there nearly, made it a big hit. He kept getting checks through the door, like lots of checks through the door, and he spent all that money on crop circle research.
Yeah, he was well into it, wasn't he?
Yeah. Just think if him and Elvis had done a dual act together, they'd be called Reg and Presley.
Nice one. Of course, the Trogs were sort of well known for Wild Thing, which is sort of an anthem. And
that was. But he had a very good. Reg had a very distinctive voice, which stood out, I think.
Yeah,
but their biggest hit, personally, you're right, was Wild Thing, but financially, it was Love Is All Around, which paid for loads of crop circle research.
Right. I mean, crop circles are fascinating.
Yeah. I wonder, there's so many speculations what they could be. UFOs, people doing it. You don't know, do you? I think some of them are people, but it could be the same things like you're saying, the wind formation as well.
Right.
But,
sorry.
Carry on.
No, but before we start the show proper and show our video, we'll be joined by Alfredo.
Hi.
Hello, Alfredo.
I was coming on.
Yeah.
Just for a few minutes.
Hi,
I thought you meant he was saying hello. Hello.
I'm actually free at the moment to actually stay on the show if you guys don't mind me just being a third wheel.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. The reason why I'm free all of a sudden is Friday was my last day for my contract role, so I'm just available.
All right. Okay. So you waiting or looking out for a new contract?
Or a new opportunity, yes. And I wanted to say hello to Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
And hello, Cheryl. Nice to see you.
Right.
Well, Cheryl's here. We can actually start now, can't we?
The gang's all here.
The gang's all here.
Yep.
So, a bit of a background to this. We got snow last weekend. And, well, over to you, Fonz.
Yeah. I took a walk to the shop. And I thought, while I was walking along, I'll try out my new GoPro, because my plan with it in the long term is just to walk around villages and different locations in Cambridgeshire and film them, and then stockpile all this footage for future generations. So imagine in 20-30 years somebody will look back on my footage of walking around, say, I don't know, Melbourne, what we're going to look at all the way around it, and think that's what it looked like in 2019. That's the plan anyway. But I took it out in the snow for a trial run to the shop and see how well it worked. And that's what we're going to look at. The footage of me walking to the shop, filming a bit of snow in Melbourne.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay,
now,
we're good.
Now, was this all shot on GoPro or just?
Yeah, the whole lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're good to go, and it's still with you, Fonz, and we're going to go the video full screen. If you're watching us, please put your viewing to full screen as well. It's out to you, Fonz.
Right. Okay. There's a street in Melbourne, and you can see it's a bit. This is, well, you can see it's snow. There used to be a phone box there, but they took it out. So, wish I'd got that. There's a car covered in snow. Somebody's car. More snow on the grass. So you can see we had a little bit of snow. There's the path. There's me trying not to fall over.
It was slippy.
Yeah. By the time the snow had melted a bit, time I got out.
Are the cars using snow tires at all when they drive?
No.
No? What?
Not around here, they don't. I remember years ago, my dad's mate, this is a long time ago, took me to the shop and parked outside the shop and just kept sliding along the road, just kept going. It was that snowing, but they put all salt and all that on the road, so you get the odd back road and stuff like this, which is still covered in snow.
Now, how often does it snow up there?
It depends. It's only we don't really get snow over Christmas. It's usually after Christmas, January to March time. Sometimes get snow, but we don't get snow like we used to. It's like there and gone within a couple of hours or the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a passing thing around here. Years ago, there used to be a lot of snow. In '63, it was really bad. Actually, the River Cam in Cambridge, they could actually skate on the River Cam. I've got some wonderful pictures of that, of people skating on the Cam back then. But this is walking down the high street in Melbourne. It's a little village, and it's good to get a bit of this, because I think they're going to be changing a lot of this, because a bit further up is two really run-down buildings, and I've got a feeling that they're going to be demolished very soon, because they're in you can just see one there with a crooked chimney, so it's good to get a bit of that on film before they disappear.
Okay.
There's a church over there in the War Memorial. There's a garage. That building on the corner there is a butcher's. This where I was just standing used to be a baker's, but that's gone now. And just up there is quite far. Oh, there's my dog. There's Hacker. He's waiting with me outside the shop. He'd get lost in the snow, he would. So there's some like snow on the shop roof. And look around.
Now, the footage that we're seeing, how long have you lived in this town?
Cambridge. This is Melbourne. Now, with me, I've lived in Cambridge. I was born in Cambridge, lived there all my life. But I've lived in all the villages. So I've lived in Shepworth, Melbourne, Maldriff, Foxton, Histon. I've lived all over here. So I've recently moved back to Melbourne. But I've been all over Cambridgeshire.
Mm-hmm.
Just there, it's all nice. We just walked past. There used to be back where we was. We missed it while we were talking.
Right.
There used to be a bloke who owned a garage, a car repair garage. My dad used to work there with him, and I remember my childhood going across the road, and a bit further up, there used to be the bakers and like getting ham rolls and all that from the bakers and stuff. And I used to be little and join him on school holidays while he was working there. This is a bit further up. They're doing building work on the school. I never went to this school. I went to a school called Barrington, which is on the other side, but they're doing all building work. So I've dug the whole path up along here. And just past that building is where I used to remember being the doctors. It's now a dentist. Just to let Cheryl know, this isn't actually the city of Cambridge. This is a village. This is an actual village. So it's outside Cambridge called Melbourne. This is where I nearly fell over filming. But you can see a good bit of snow there. I like the effect that it gives as well while you're walking along.
I'm just curious, does it get really cold where a lake would freeze over for you over there, or?
They can do, but not really, not like how it used to. I wouldn't walk on it. It's not that, probably wouldn't be that safe, not anymore.
Okay.
I rarely see a lot of snow really in this area now. I remember being a kid and building massive snowmen and stuff. So even this is what it's like really. Snow cover, but then you suddenly, within hours, a lot of it would be gone.
Mm.
I think we're coming up. Just saying quaint village now. Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely there. But it's funny because the villages, this is one of the bigger villages. Now, I've lived in Histon and Melbourne are very much the same. They're like a mini town. They've got all the shops you need around you. Where you got a village like Shepworth that hasn't even got a shop. And basically, it's like no man's land. You've got nothing around you. So it's and this Shepworth is right next door to Melbourne. So but there is a little bit of travel in between. So it is strange around here, but you can get straight to places like local towns like Royston by train in a couple of minutes and to Cambridge in about 15 minutes. So it's quite...
It's the centre of the universe, Fonz. Right. A couple of questions came up whilst it was playing. And question, is your dog a Bichon?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you are. Well done, Cheryl.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a hacker. Now, why he's called hacker, I used to have it's quite quite sad. I used to have a little Yorkshire Terrier called Charlie, who was actually called Charles Harding because I named him after Buddy Holly, but we called him Charlie. We found out about a year old he had epilepsy, and he sadly had to be put down because he had one big fit. And I said, I've never, ever, ever have another dog in respects to what I went through with him. Then we got to hear about a hacker who was being badly treated by his owner. And when we got him, he was in a right mess. Basically, he couldn't move his head because his fur and stuff was so overgrown. So we had to basically hack all his fur off. And that's how we got the nickname Hacker. But he's got a lot of love now.
And Fonz,
oh, it's disappeared. He was asking me something.
Sorry, no, he had to refresh, so he's refreshing his back now.
No, so he's got a good home now. He's in a much better place. But yeah, he definitely, that's what he is.
Right. And Alfredo couldn't see me, which is why he refreshed.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was when Fonz mentioned hacker, I said, "Oh, this is a good time for me to refresh because of hackers." Yeah. So that was a great story. I enjoyed seeing that video of your village, and do you know if you get tourists in that area a lot?
Yeah, in Cambridge, city centre, lots of people want to tour around. Now you could easily pick up a tour looking at the universities, but you can also get tours to do the city life as well, because the university and the town, because it's called Town and Gown, even though it's a city, but it goes back to when it was a town. Town and Gown, there's two different basically sides of Cambridge. It's just two stories to be told, the town side and the gown side.
Mm.
Yeah,
I don't do the gown side.
And there's a rivalry between Cambridge and Oxford.
Oh yeah, especially the boat race.
Yeah, the top university town or city in the UK.
Yeah.
And as you said, the boat race, which takes place on the Thames every year. Right, just staying with the theme of snow for a moment, I can't let it go that this was the extent of the snow.
Yeah, that's the picture I saw. Yeah,
that's the picture. I was having breakfast, and this is just looking out the window, and I thought, well, that looks amazing. So I braved the snowstorm and went out and caught the picture, and I'm amazed by the response on Facebook. The number of people who've actually liked it. So everybody who liked the photo, thank you very much. I'm just an occasional photographer, but it's good to actually get. I mean, it's the composition and the snow on the, well, it just works, and it's one of those right place, right time moments. So that photograph is from Devisers in Wiltshire. And that was last Friday morning after a night of snow. And
I think you had more snow than us.
Yeah, we had about 7 inches in total. But it was treacherous underfoot, so there was no way I was going to go out filming. Right, question from Kelly. Oh, right, okay. And first of all, Kelly's saying his daughter's is husky, has epilepsy and takes pills for it.
Yeah, so, that's what Charlie had. I'm trying to think what they were called. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they said with Charlie that they could work for so long, but his body may come immune to them, which sadly what happened. And it got to a point that he had a fit, then had a second fit, then wouldn't come out of it. And we took him to the vets, and they tried all they could to get him out of it, but he just wouldn't come out of it, and we had to make a sad choice, really. But that's the way it is, unfortunately. I think I did have a photo of him somewhere. I don't know what I've done with it.
Okay. Well, whilst you look for that, Cheryl's saying that she. Hang on, no, that's just a minute. I'll find the comment in a minute. And Cheryl's saying quite a bit of snow and Peter's up in Aberdeen, and he'll tell us what snow's all about, because the weather does vary between England and up north, and then up into Scotland and Aberdeen. The further north you get, the snowier it gets. Peter, you should actually send some photographs in of the snow.
So it's still the winter months then in other parts of the world.
We have the same. You're on the Pacific coast. We have the same weather as the East Coast.
Okay.
Yep. And Charles Century's in Michigan, and they've had a lot of snow in Michigan. It's just unusual for us to actually get snow here down in Wiltshire, hence the photograph. Right, a question, Fonz, which comes from the video that you did.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to find it. And it's from Kelly. And do you have a GoPro on a gimbal or attached to you somehow?
Attached to me. I haven't got one of those gimbals. You've got one though. How did your custody?
I had custody of the Zion gimbal this weekend, and I've actually got it working, but I couldn't go out because it was so slippy underfoot. So I'm going to go out, and my future videos will be they'll be stable.
My guess, when you mean custody, you have to share it with someone. Is that what it is, or?
Angelica went with son and daughter to Bulgaria for the weekend. And came back 2 o'clock this morning. But
and the first thing she said, "I want my gimbal back."
No, I bought it as a present for Angelica. I bought the gimbal, and I bought a mic, lapel mic to go with it. I was hoping that I would be able to borrow it occasionally. Fonz and I were talking about this last week, and he decided that I was being granted custody of it while Angelica was away. So it's for Angelica to use. Angelica's going to go out this year, and she's going to be filming for her German lessons on Udemy, and she's going to be going out, local walks, local features, and teaching people German whilst walking. That's the series, and that needs a steady hand.
So looking at things that she sees and just like translating what they would be in German, sort of thing.
Yep.
That's really cool. That's really cool, though.
I think it's cool too, but in order to do it, you do need to be steady and people to watch. So that's where the gimbal comes in, and I'm quite looking forward to that appearing.
Will you be getting your own gimbal then, Steven, once you know how stable the video becomes, or?
We can share it at the moment, because
okay.
There's no problem with that. There's no problem. You don't need to buy two when you can actually use one between you.
Okay.
It's better off to go and buy them.
You have to get a calendar up like today and mark off got it on one day.
No, I know for a fact that Angelica, she teaches during the week, so I will get used to it during the week, and Angelica will use it at the weekend. So there you go. That's sorted out. It's best to invest in kit that you can both use, and you don't need two of everything. That's just my point on it. Okay, and I'm just going to catch up with the comments that are coming in. How many towns have been on here now? I think we're into the teens, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Going back to what we said, I think not last week but before. Originally, we said you should come on live and broadcast about your town. Now, we're grateful to Ricky and to Gospel for doing that, and to Alfredo, who's with us today. We're also looking, if you have a video, you can shoot a video, send it in to us. If you've already got photographs, because they work as well, don't they, Fonz?
Yeah, we tried that. So people's photos of where they live as well. Of course, some people don't want to appear on camera, which is completely understandable. I frighten people as enough with me on the camera. So
yeah. I'm sorry, guys. You said we have an option to be live, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because one of the things I did before on a previous video hangout with Google was I showed some friends the SpaceX rocket in my neighborhood, the one that's kind of standing in the building of SpaceX in Hawthorne. So I thought, maybe if I time it right, when Steven and Fonz are online, well, I could probably go out to the SpaceX building with my phone and walk towards the rocket.
Well, no, even if you record it, like I did with the snow thing, and we can show it as an event that you've done, and it doesn't always have to be. Doesn't have to be always live, because the thing that we came to conclusion towards the end of the last year, because it was early days, I was doing a lot of Cambridge. Then a lot of things came up for me, and I wasn't able to do live stuff as much. So we tried it like that, and it works. But and the photos, because like I was saying, a lot of people don't appear on camera. They can send the photos in with information, and we can share it. So it's accessible to everybody. So it opens the door up for people to get involved and share where they live.
Totally. Right, and Peter is saying, where do you send the photographs to or the videos to? Just send them to me. It's the easiest thing. That I can then bring them into the show. So one collection point, just message me with a link. If you put them on Google Drive, that's always good. If you've got a bunch of photos, okay, just a hint here, don't send me individual photos, because that means I've got to download them individually. If you could put them into a folder, if you do it, put them into, sorry, Fonz, put them into a folder on Google Drive. Then I can I'm not lazy, it's just more efficient.
No, yeah? I'm just thinking I like sending you loads of photos individually.
Let's go have a look at each one. No, if you put them on Google Drive in a folder, and you can call the folder I Live Here, so we both know what it is.
No, it should be, the folder should be called I Don't Do What Fonz Does.
I'm not going to corpse. I'm going to carry on. Right. Okay. So folder called I Live Here. Send me a shared link to the folder. I can download the photos, put them in an album on my Facebook profile as private, and then we can use them during the show. And it's as simple as that.
Just curious, how many participants have you had so far in the I Live Here?
Again, in the team.
Yeah, a few. Yeah.
I mean, the show itself goes live. We're very fortunate. Well, Fonz has built up a heck of a following over the years.
Just a few people.
And we are actually live on the Cambridge Historian page at the moment. So the show is literally watched by hundreds of people. Wow. Not necessarily live, because in the UK everybody's working at the moment, but on the replay. Yeah.
I've got a couple. I've got a couple of followers. Dan from Royston and Steve from Baldock. That's about it, really. They always tune in.
Oh, one of the things I could show is in the city of Inglewood. I don't know, it's very popular, but we do have a new sports stadium that's being built up. So I can probably take my camcorder with like this and just film around that area and then show it to you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that would work. That would definitely work.
For any places that where you live that you are fond of, like this place here, I go here, I go there, and all that, and probably film it and tell us why you go there and why you like it and why it's important to you. Because it's telling your story of your area then, and what you like where you live.
That's true, and it's not just for this show. You're not doing it for this show. What you're actually doing is creating your own historical archive, which you can,
definitely.
Because that's why you've got the GoPro, isn't it, Fonz? Because you're actually going to be making videos not for I Live Here, but for your own personal archives.
That's right.
Can you explain the plan?
Well, it's for future generations, not myself. Because something I learned when I was researching Cambridge. I've got thousands and thousands of old photos of Cambridge, and collected them. And that's what my history part was. Then one day I was walking through Cambridge, 2006, and they were knocking Bradwell's Court down, which was the original, very first shopping arcade in Cambridge. Now, this shopping arcade, I used to get off the bus and meet friends there. So it was a focus point of my childhood, really big part of my childhood. I had Laser Quest there, Argos, brilliant bookshop, but it was quite run down and it smelled like wee, but that didn't matter. it was part of my childhood, and they knocked it down. And as they knocked it down, I realised I didn't have one photo that I took of it. I only have my memories. I've got other photos other people have taken, and that made me realise that history isn't just about the past, it's about today too. So now I go around I've been going around with a camera taking photos of everywhere and just stockpiling them on a hard drive that I've got. And I want to do the same, just walk around, like Melbourne, just walk around the whole village. I'm waiting until it gets a bit warmer and do that in every village, and do that every so often around Cambridge. Put them on a hard drive, leave them there for a few old years, like 10, 20, 30 years, and then they're accessible for future generations to say, hey, that's what it looked like in 2019. So it's thinking out of the box a little bit.
It is. And photographs.
Oh, sorry, Karen.
No, it's okay. We're good.
Yeah. I've got a funny story now, because it's just come back to me, talking about Bradwell's Court. A funny story that involved Argos. Me and a mate, because it was the old Argos, went in there and they had TVs on the shelf for sale. And I think it's the late 80s, early 90s. He had one of those really cool watches that could turn TV channels over and turn the volume up and down. And we stood in Argos, kept turning the volume up on the TVs to a point that the manager come out going, "Whoever's doing this, stop it!" right at the top of his voice. And in the end, he just turned all the TVs off because he got sick of us keep turning the volume up on it. But he never worked out it was us. So if he's watching, he knows who it is now.
The things you do when you're young, become stories later.
But that's one of my memories of a place that's not there anymore. So and never took a personal photo of it myself. So that's how I learned that lesson, I think.
Yeah, and we say hello to Carlos. And Carlos has joined us. Welcome. Right. Okay. I think photograph. I'm just trying to show something here. Just give me a moment. I'll get there in a moment. Hopefully this will work.
Fonz and Steven, thank you for having me on the show. It's a very interesting show, and I hope I could join every so often, depending on my schedule.
Definitely.
Yeah,
you're welcome anytime.
Very welcome to. And you have to take your camera out and about and get some footage.
Yeah,
and share it with us.
Brilliant. Okay. Right, now taking photographs is important. This photograph, which I'm going to show on the screen now, is very important. I'm going to tell you why this photograph is important. This photograph was taken 2 hours ago, and this is Angelica collecting her new car.
Wow.
Now, it will have, if I can get this working, just give me a second. What I did, this is just a small example. Hopefully I'm going to go the right way here. It was 12:59. So I'm just telling a little story in photos. That the car was collected and out onto the main road, up past the what used to be, this is in Devizes, this is the barracks in Devizes, which used to be where the army was stationed. The army was taken from Devizes and rebilleted So this is now been reworked into a luxury block of flats, and you can see that I'm pointing to something, you can't see it. If you can see the tallest building in the background, the top of that is a penthouse suite.
I can't see the photo.
Oh, just a minute. Good. Okay, this is live. Just a minute. Okay, thank you, Fonz.
That's all right.
Just a minute. It's not going to. It will work. Okay. Right. Can you see the photo now?
No, not yet. Just
can you not see a photo?
Oh, I can. I can now.
Right. Okay. This is Devizes Barracks, which was built for the army. The army was stationed in Devizes for a number of years, and because the Wiltshire Regiment in the army, but the army decided to change where they were actually going to billet people, and they moved everybody out of the barracks. The barracks then became derelict, and then taken over by a developer. They're now turned into luxury flats, and the one in the background, the penthouse suite there, is 300,000, which is for Devizes quite a price. It's probably not a hefty price in Cambridge, but in Devizes it is. So this is
That's quite cheap. That's quite cheap in Cambridge.
Yeah. Car coming up to the traffic lights, and then turning left, going up the road, and arriving home. And the whole journey took 4 minutes. So that's you can still see that, yeah?
No,
13.
Disappeared.
No, it disappeared.
Right, that went well, didn't it? Okay. But the point I'm making is that you can actually tell a story through photographs and that story.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, as Fonz intimates, at the moment that story is just been taken. But when it comes time for the car to be sold, yeah, then you can look back at how it first arrived, and that's memories. And you, right? Okay. And now where am I? I'm trying to. The cost is, 300,000 a month. We hate to tell you this, but that's 300,000 to purchase outright. Okay, give you some idea. We should do a program on property prices, because it's I mean, properties in the UK.
What's that program? Homes under the hammer.
Yeah.
Bit like that.
yeah, we could do that, because property prices in the UK are far removed from those in the US. So it'd be just interesting if we sort of did 2 videos, one in Cambridge, one in Devizes, and then looking for houses with the for sale sign outside, then check up with the estate agent what the price is, and we can actually come up with something.
Yeah, it varies. It varies all over the UK.
Yeah, it does.
You're saying it is right. It's very cheap, even Cambridge standards. That is, you know what I mean. Yeah. You couldn't even get a normal house for that price in Cambridge.
Well, we have a castle, Devizes Castle, and Devizes Castle was privately owned. And if you want an apartment in Devizes Castle, it will cost you £2.5 million. Yeah.
That's fair enough. If it's a very old building, yeah. There's a few places in just ridiculous places in Cambridge that you would think wasn't half the price, but some of them about 2 or 3 million, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and they're tiny.
Well, I mean, in New York City, Cars is saying it's 300,000 for a closet.
Wow, car.
Yeah,
it's a big city with a big attraction, and there's if there's a lot to attract people to, like Cambridge universities, it's through the roof. Yeah. It's probably the same now.
I mean, students come from all over the world to study in Cambridge. I hate to think the prices they must be paying now for accommodation, because there are 2 types of accommodation, aren't there?
Well, the funny thing is, in Cambridge now, if something gets knocked down, it comes student flats. So They knocked a pub down, it comes student flats. They knocked a garage down, it comes student flats. So there's plenty of student flats available in Cambridge these days.
Well, yeah, but it's a question of prices, isn't it? Because there are accommodations attached to the university itself, which is primarily for people in their first year.
Yeah.
And then private accommodation, and which, you know, yeah, but the student accommodation in student levels in Cambridge is pretty high. A high percentage of the population are actually at university.
Yeah, well, a lot of university students have to, not just their studying, have to find money from other sources as well to keep their head above water.
That's true.
In some cases.
I remember when I was going to school, I used to live with my parents just to save on cost of living. I mean, living inside living inside an apartment or university dormitory, the cost of living goes up really high. So I was fortunate enough to still be with my parents while I was going to college.
Do they live close to where you were going?
Yeah, it's about a 20-mile drive to the college I was going to, so it wasn't that bad.
Sometimes you have to go a long way, so you've got no choice but to use the accommodation. But if you're close, then you're right. It's the wisest thing to do, really, because it can come quite expensive.
Yeah, I have two sons. Paul, both went to university in Manchester, and Paul used to travel every day. Now, it's a 2 hours there, 2 hours back sort of thing, because you're going by bus. Yeah. James decided that he wasn't going to do that, and he actually got accommodation, first of all, attached to the university, and then private accommodation. So it is a choice. That's whether you actually, if you live till 30 miles away, whether you actually travel in by public transport or you actually stay there. But back in, I mean, I can go back to my days when all university tuition was free. We still have free tuition in Scotland, don't they, Peter?
Really?
Oh yeah, university. University tuition in Scotland is free because it's the purview of the Scottish government, and they decided that it would be free. And I think medicines are free as well.
Really?
Prescriptions, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How much is it in it? It's through the roof. About £7, I think now, isn't it? For
each item, yeah.
Yeah.
And Peter's saying yes. Universities are free to go in. Well, to actually go to university in Scotland is free, and yes, you can go. Right, there is a border between England and Scotland. People know when you've crossed it. So you can, as an English person, go to university in Scotland. It won't be totally free, but it will be far cheaper than if you went to university in England, which explains the popularity of universities in Edinburgh and Glasgow and Aberdeen.
Yeah. But where's their funding come from?
Central government.
So they fund straight into it.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure of the mechanics of it, but I mean, Scotland has got oil. Not like Euston's got oil, but Scotland does have oil. And so they've got some of the oil taxes actually going to their coffers. So they do have a purse. There was some to spend. Yeah. And update from Peter. However, places can be limited with the majority going to fee-paying students from other countries. Okay. So if you're born and bred in Scotland, it's free. If you're born and bred, yeah, but we're not a foreign country yet.
No, so no, that's understandable. If you're a native to it, then yeah. If you're not, that's totally understandable in that respect.
Education and housing is one of the, I guess, prime examples of expenses in various parts of the world. I mean, I just posted what it costs to go to Cal State University per year in the comments, and it's a steep price to get an education after your normal elementary school, high school years. So
just for comparison, our students pay between $9,000 and $13,000 a year.
Wow.
Which is between $11,000 and $16,000 a year. And they, on top of that, have to pay for accommodation and also for all the resources that they need. So by the time you've finished a 3-year degree in the UK, you are about $50,000 in debt.
A lot of debt, yeah.
A lot of debt.
So before you've even started your growing up life, you're in debt before it all starts beginning.
I actually obtained my degree without being in debt. I'm not sure if I'm a rare case.
In the UK, the majority of students actually do take advantage of, well, you've got to pay the fees in some way or another. There is a grant system, but it's not what it was. And we're getting Peter, who's going to come and join us and explain exactly what happens in Scotland as far as fees are concerned. So yeah, but it's to go to university now puts you in debt. It is a loan at low interest. You have to repay it, but not until you're actually in employment and you're in a job earning over, I'm going to get this wrong, over $21,000 a year. Once you reach $28,000 a year, until you reach $28,000 a year, you don't have to repay anything. Anyway, to set us right and give us the facts, who else but Mr. Peter Stewart, who's in the dark, but he's still here.
Is it dark?
Hello, Peter.
Hello there. Is it dark? Okay.
It is, yes. Yeah.
So my cousin, she actually goes abroad and gets students to come here to her university. She used to be at Aberdeen, and that was her job. And now she's in Glasgow, getting foreign students in. So in Scotland, it's free. However, you mainly don't get the university you're going for, and the places are limited. So people end up going to not sort of quite high universities, if you get what I mean. Yeah, but we've got the RGU in Aberdeen. But you know, Fonz, are you an actual historian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know much about history, but
well, I think what I'll do is I'll speak to a local historian here.
Yeah, I'm not general historian, just in Cambridge.
Oh no, we've got a historian, Aberdeen historian.
Yeah.
And Dr. Fiona Jane Brown.
All right.
And I'll tell. She's probably speaking to me by now, because I'll tell you, she won't hear this. She once came onto Facebook, and she had a big pair of glasses on, but she changed her hair. And she said, "What do you think?" and I said, "Deirdre Barlow wants her glasses back."
Right, okay.
She was absolutely fuming. Anyway, I'll get back in touch with her. I think it might be a good thing to get her on here. I'll get back in touch.
Yeah, that'd be good. Be good to chat to her. Yeah,
a real historian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she does walking tours here in Aberdeen. Takes people. I've done the Second World War tour with her, and she goes nighttime tours. So I'll try to get her on for you. If she doesn't, it'll be me. It'll be me.
Can you tell us, though, as much as what she could?
No, absolutely not. She goes way back to the medieval times. I mean, yeah. She's very good. She is very good. My local knowledge is on a bike. I've learned more about my city on a bicycle than anything else. I tell you, the
most important thing that anybody should do, don't matter where they live. You could live in somewhere all your life. You could live there from the day you were born. I've took people on walks, and this guy, he's lived in Cambridge all his life, never been in anywhere else.
Yes.
And I said, let's walk down this road and look up. And got him to look up, and he goes, "Oh, look at that! Look at that!" Never knew after things were there. So the big and most important thing that anybody should do is look up and look around you, and you'll see probably stuff that you've never seen before, and be quite amazed sometimes at what you do see.
Yeah. Do you know that Aberdeen's called the Silver City?
No, I didn't. But I do now.
So, because we're made of granite originally, and then when you come in from the sea in the boat, the city sparkles. So it was called the Silver City. But people don't say that. They don't say that much now, because in Aberdeen, every business we've called Silver City Cleaners, Silver City Ice Cream Parlour, Silver City Cinema. So I thought that's the sort of things, but you don't hear it much now, you know.
No, so it's a lot of things like you were saying, places get named after it. It's like one of the things, one of the areas is called the Kite area in Cambridge, and I've done walks, and a shopping centre called the Grafton is on the Kite area, and they have big logos of a kite. And everybody goes, well, why is there logos a kite? Why is it called the Kite area? Then usually I stop right next to a map that they've got in the street, then put my finger around it and show them it's because the whole area is shaped like a kite.
All right, okay.
So, you know, I mean, like, and these are people some of these people have lived there all their life. Like, wow, I didn't know that. I've always wondered why it was called the Kite. So so some things are right in front of you, but you don't really. Yeah. There's interesting backstories to them.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Cambridge is famous also for our TV detective, isn't it? What's the name of him? The famous one, Morse.
No, that's Oxford.
All right, that's round the corner.
Wrong,
Peter.
Wrong university.
You've got Oxford and Cambridge confused. Cambridge are up in arms.
All right. I've been to a place called. I've been up in Cambridge to collect an award many years ago. Name me some prominent names in Cambridge.
What, people's names?
No, places.
King's Parade.
Not in Cambridge.
Buildings.
Places round about Cambridge, other areas. I can't remember.
Guildhall, King's College. No. So you put me on this. I'm trying to think.
University Challenge, King's College, Cambridge.
It's actually a place outside Cambridge itself, but it's in Cambridgeshire, and I've forgotten the name of it. And I went up to, and it was way out of the way. Anyway. So that's good. So what I said, you know John Upton, Fonz?
Who?
John Upton.
You do?
No, I don't. No.
You don't?
He does. He comes on and watches.
I do. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. So Sorry. Yeah.
His famous detective novels are from the guy in Aberdeen that I know. And I said, and he talks about Aberdeen in him. So what I'm going to do for him, when he tells me whether all the places they mention in the book, I'm going to go and take some pictures for him, so he can actually see them, where people were murdered. I'm
not going to attempt the accent, Peter.
I'll let you back on.
Right, okay.
Brilliant. No, thanks. It'll be good to chat.
Yeah. Okay, and we are talking about John Upton. Okay, and talking of John Upton and Peter Stewart, this is Peter Stewart, and this is me. We'll be back on Thursday, 10 a.m. in the UK. We're Blabbing for Britain, episode 163, which means that Peter and I have been broadcasting together for close on 3 years total. So there you go. Right, talking of shows, I was trying to get a photograph. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern is, of course, Bots for Broadcasters with myself and RJ Redden. You'll find it on the same page as you're watching this show, and we were talking about bots. And we have a special guest this week in Brigetti Limbanda. Brigetti doesn't know anything about messenger bots. And the idea is that over the course of the next few weeks, she will be able to put messenger bots on her page. So it's an introductory series to putting messenger bots on your page as well. You can follow Brigetti's progress. You can do it yourself. So that's tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. in the UK. Advert over. Fonz, you have an advert.
Have I got a show? Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've got a show Friday, 8 p.m. it's not about Cambridge history. It's about history in general. And we started last week with it. I'm not an expert on general history, but there's a few like history facts that I like and looked into, and just sharing them with people. And you can also share your favorite history stories as well. And there's a few interactive things where people can get involved with as well, with history questions, guess who the person is from history, and a weird history fact as well. But the story that we're looking at the moment, we had part 1 on Friday, part 2 this Friday, a Buck Ruxton, savage surgeon, and find out what happened with him in the final part. Dun, dun, dun.
Suspense. Alfredo, where can we find yourself?
Well, I'm on Facebook, and we do have a special event that's going on at our local church. It's called the Next Man Up Men's Day event, which is going to be on February 24th. It's a Sunday, and I will help broadcast it to various platforms. And I'm also going to be their MC in the evening, Masters of Ceremonies. So I'll be their host in the evening for that event as well. So.
And Peter.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because I'm looking at getting the Talkinator on again, and you sometimes see me just popping on anyway, and it usually says this is a test, and nobody watches it. So look out for me.
Right. Okay. All good.
Incidentally, the name of the place was called March.
March, yeah.
Yes.
I know what you mean, yeah. March. It's funny because you can sit in Cambridge city centre in the middle of November and you see a bus to March. If only it was a bus to March.
Roll on. We're getting closer to spring. Indeed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try and share my desktop. It's not actually playing at the moment, but we did at the beginning of the show have a video, which Fonz did on his new GoPro. And it shows that we're going up a notch. We're going for high quality programming as well as content. We've always had high quality content.
The budget's been stretched.
Well, I've still got to get going with the gimbal as well. So, yeah, we're investing in this production, and we'll be here next week. Fonz, we'd like to close the show.
Yeah. It's the end. Bye.
That's not quite what I had in mind. I want something more expansive, sort of come and join us again next week at 9 a.m. Eastern sort of thing.
Steven, he's been watching me. He's been watching me.
Yeah. See, I've been taking notes. No. Thanks everybody who watched. Hope you enjoyed this show, and do join us this time. Same place, same Facebook page, and same time. Something like that, isn't it? I forgot.
Same bat channel, same bat time.
Yeah. Did you saying about Batman? Did you see somebody put a comment about making posters for a Batman film?
It's Carlos.
Carlos. Yeah, I can find that. That was Carlos. That's how he paid off his university fees.
So that, with that bombshell, that's the end of the show.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Peter and Alfredo. We'll see you all next week. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.